bitches, accolades, got will, son, no castaway. I'm twice as good, get half the praise. There was sniper up and out.
So learning how to properly rack your car is one of the most important things as far as if you have to do any work on the car, you want to make sure it's completely safe before you get under it. I can't stress that enough, guys. People die every single year from jacks failing, lifts failing, stuff like that. So when you put it up in the air, especially on a 2-post lift like this, get it 1 to 2 feet off the ground and then really try to rock the car off the lift. And don't even really mess around. Really try to knock it off, because you never know if you're cranking on a bolt, if something could happen, you don't want to be underneath the car, okay guys?
I know you're dying to stay. I ain't gonna stop you from walking. Always remember the name. I'm the man, I'm the man, I'm the man.
What is up, guys, and welcome back to the vlog. So today we got the car up on the lift. Actually hasn't been on the lift for a while. I just did a brief inspection underneath. There's a couple things we're gonna be tackling later on in this video, but for right now, I'm gonna take off the passenger rear wheel. We gotta figure out where this noise is coming from in the rear end during weight distribution. So between like reverse and first, also when I'm going really slow, I'm hearing some clunking in the back end. Now, if you guys are OGs to our channel, you'll know that a long time ago, I replaced the rear shock mount on the driver's side. I'm wondering if that's what the issue is on the passenger side as well, but I can't really see anything from the top. So I'm gonna take the wheel off. I'll show you guys what it looks like once the wheel's removed.
I was sent to show the world they're dealing with a problem from the get-go. Let's go, ready for the next show. Finding time for anything but any time to rest. So I get it in the morning.
It might be a little bit difficult for you guys to see in here, but this is the Airlift Performance rear airbag, the rear strut. This is where the AccuAir E-level sensor is mounted, which is cool. And here's the airline here through the chassis. Looped around with slack, of course, because you want this to be free moving. So let's take a look up at the shock mount. It's gonna be a little bit difficult for you guys to see on camera, but what I'm seeing is that there was a previous repair done. Go ahead and grab a flashlight. I'll see if I can show you guys better. All right, so that is a much better view. You can see here on the left-hand side that they kind of crappily welded a repair plate on the top. I'm not sure that's the source of my problem just yet. Let's keep looking.
I'm holly trotting from the valley to the mountains. I ain't finished till I coordinated.
So the only thing that I can find right now that looks like an apparent issue is the bushings on the differential. So the rear differential looks like it has 2 bushings in the front, one here, and then it has one in the back. Now, looking at the one in the back, this might be a little hard to see on camera. Actually, you can see it pretty good. There is a crack all the way around in the bushing. So this, I believe, is more of the culprit than the suspension that was repaired and the shock mount. So I'm gonna go look into this online, see how hard of a job it is. Maybe I can get that part today, and maybe I can pop this in. All right, so there's one additional thing that I need to square away today, and that is a problem with the M3. It has been leaking oil. Let me go ahead and show you guys. Just a couple of drips, but it's coming from the front end of the engine, and I think what's happening is it's leaking up here and dripping all the way back down onto the oil pan. You can even see a small little drip forming here. So I've been doing some research online. I've been taking the flashlight, and I think the oil filter gasket, the oil filter housing gasket is what's leaking. So I'm gonna go ahead and order those parts, and we're gonna start to tear this thing apart. A better look, and you can see that major drip forming there, but you see that trail, and that trail of oil goes over here by my drain fitting, goes underneath the oil pan, all the way around. The whole steering rack is totally caked in oil, and then it comes up. And at first I thought it was the oil pan gasket in here, which is a little hard to see. But when I was feeling around, it actually, this is very hard to see, the leak is actually above the oil pan. I know it's not the oil pan gasket, and looking through the schematics online, the oil filter housing gasket turns out to be a very common issue with these cars. So looks like the part's only about $4 or $5, and I do need to change the oil anyways because I have been driving with the turbo setup for a couple hundred miles. So I want to flush the entire system and now's a good time to do that. So let me go ahead, I'm gonna run to the BMW distributor in San Diego, pick those up, get back over here. What we're gonna have to do is take off the alternator, take off the power steering pump, and then we should have access to the oil filter housing, and we can pull that off and get the gasket in there. Just got back from SSF Auto Parts, and I wanted to show you guys all the stuff that I got. We got a variety of projects going in today. Emily. Probably gonna be a little bit messy, but here, let me flip around the camera and I will show you. All right, so Castrol 5W30, we got 8 quarts of fully synthetic. We got a new oil filter here. We have the camshaft positioning sensor. So this is what came up in a check engine light. We have the oil filter housing gasket. That's where our leak is coming from right now. We have a set of NGK spark plugs that should be much better for the boosted application. So without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and set the camera down and start working. So before we do that, I'm just gonna go ahead and drain the oil from the entire car. Little trick, if you want your oil to drain faster, go ahead and take off the filler cap before you remove the drain bolt. So once that is finished draining, don't forget to put on the new crush washer onto your drain bolt. So let's go ahead and do that. So to do these jobs, essentially I have to remove the alternator. I'm going to be removing this entire section here. So I have to remove the belt here, then remove the alternator, loosen up the power steering pump, and I'm also gonna have to remove this, which I believe is part of the Vanos unit, so that I can get to the camshaft position sensor, which is underneath here. So let's just go ahead and start disassembling everything, and I will check in with you guys as I make some progress.
Teenage dreamers on his way. I told my mother I grew up. What can I say? I'm still breathing, falling in love every evening.
The world we on top of. Thanks to my shorty and all the blunts that she docked up. Waking up late and we gon' crack up the champagne. Girlies is hating, but
There it is. All right, so alternator is now removed. Wasn't too bad, just 2 bolts here.
said you crazy, you need to chill, love. I got that Mary J, real love, and a whole lot of liquor to make you feel buzz. Last night, look what we had here. The finest gathered at my spot, I paid for cab fare. I forgot what I thought I knew. If you were me, you'd be falling too. Every evening.
Sleeping through the day, wake up with champagne.
This is the entire oil filter housing unit. You can see the tensioner on here as well. There's the Rally Road banjo fitting for my oil feed. So that is the oil filter housing gasket right down there. And what's crazy is it's literally right above where all of our oil leak was happening. So I'm pretty sure this is the issue. Let me pull out the gasket and let's see if I can see any rips or anything in the gasket. I figured while everything was out, I might as well spend the extra time clean this entire component off. It is caked in oil. So I think with just a little bit of simple green, a little brush, and some hard work, we can make this thing looking a lot better. Also, as I mentioned in previous videos, when you clean stuff, it gives you the opportunity to identify where a leak is coming from a lot easier. So let me show you what it is, and I will go ahead and start cleaning it up. So this is what it looks like right now. As you guys can see, it's just black, caked in grease and oil. So let's go ahead and I'm gonna grab some cardboard. Actually, I might even spray it down on the ground right over there. We'll clean this off really good.
On the stage, teenage dreamers on his way. I told my mother I grew up.
It's not 100% perfect, but it is a lot better than it was before. So let me go ahead, toss on the new gasket and all the new components, and we're gonna go ahead and finish this project up for today. All right, so let's go ahead and do the camshaft position sensor replacement. It's pretty easy. You just have to unscrew this little unit here. I'm not exactly sure. It's part of the Vanos system, I believe. Out, little oil comes out of here. And the camshaft position sensor is right underneath there. Just held on with one little Allen bolt, so I will pull that off. Already disconnected the harness, and this just pops right off. You can't really notice anything that's wrong with it, but let's go ahead and toss in the new one right here. Installation is very simple, just the opposite.
A few minutes later.
All right, so now that that is completely buttoned up over here, I cleaned this surface off with some just simple degreaser. Started cleaning off the engine block the best I could, so let me show you as well. Here is our cleaned oil filter housing assembly. I just put a new gasket here and a fresh coat of clean oil onto this gasket. That helps really make a good seal. So I think we're ready to toss this thing back on. And let me check in with you guys in just a second. Just a quick update here, getting the alternator mounted. I got the coolant reservoir with its temporary mount in place. The oil feed line with the rally road fitting is all good. Oil filter is bolted down. The oil filter housing unit is completely bolted down. So essentially you gotta put on the alternator, then the idler pulley, and route the belts. Now something that was actually really funny, in one of our videos, someone noticed that the routing on my accessory belt was done incorrectly. So I'm gonna go online, I'm gonna look for the correct orientation, and I will try to route this belt the correct way. So shout out to you being an awesome subscriber. Thank you so much. I would never have known. What was weird is the car ran fine. So anyways, let me go ahead and get this done.
Seems all I know is if it's all a dream, man, I don't wanna wake up, man, I don't wanna wake up, I'm never gonna wake up.
Now have a check engine light, and I just did the code, and it's still for the camshaft positioning sensor. The car is idling even worse now. Oh man. All right, and we're back. So in case you guys didn't know, the past couple days I was actually filming on my iPhone X, and thankfully I got my G7X working. Everything is good to go, so we'll be back to normal quality vlogs moving forward. So thankfully I did get a lot of good stuff done today. I was able to fix my exhaust system. I didn't talk about it too much on camera, but it was hanging a little bit low, so I ended up cutting a section off, raising the loud valves up. Now everything's tucked nice, and I actually can slam the car no problem anymore. I do believe I got the leak fixed as well, so I tore everything apart as you guys saw, put everything back together, and I just started the car. I don't see any leaks, so that is a plus. The last thing and the most important thing is that the car will not run properly right now because of the camshaft positioning sensor error. Now, I have an idea of what the issue is, and it's related to the component that I just bought. I've been told, I did a little bit of research, that I should have purchased the OEM BMW camshaft position sensor, as this might be one of those times where cheaping out on parts is going to bite me in the ass. So what I would say is, if you guys are familiar with BMW stuff, please drop a line in the comments below. Is FAE a good manufacturer, or should I try to go and pick up an OEM BMW camshaft position sensor? Now the last thing that we haven't really talked about is there anything else this problem could be? So if you guys know, I would really appreciate all of the help. Drop a line below in the comments. If you like what you saw in this video, please give it a big thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys in the next one.